What's happening, traders? Welcome back to another video. Now, this is something that I was finding quite difficult the other day because I was trading a market, back testing a market, the pound CAD, which I found extremely frustrating, by the way, because I lost every single trade while I was back testing. And even though I'm back testing, I still don't like to lose. And it was just kicking my ass. Number one, because, I've got no relationship with the market. And number two, I don't know what's going on with that, but I would never trade that market in my life ever again. Not even back testing, like, fuck it. It's to the side. I didn't even want to think about that session, right? But something that I kept getting caught out with was taking zones that were not the right zones to take. And I'll explain why. Actually, this comes up in one of the books that you can actually get from Liam's website that you'll find a link down below. There's like 7 books, and this book is from the how to find supply and demand zones that work. And in this book, it basically discusses the difference between profit-taking zones and banks and zones that form because of banks placing trades. Now, at the end of the day, you don't want to be taking profit-taking zones because those are the zones where the market will push straight through. But you always want to find the zones of where the banks are actually placing their trades, because those are the zones that are going to be profitable, right? But sometimes, I know I've got a lot of new subscribers recently, so I want to kind of like put this out there as well, is that sometimes you just see a zone and you think, oh, the structure looks amazing, let's just take it, right? But this is why we have the event chain, because it stops you from taking trades that are actually not going to be profitable, because the event chain within event 2 will basically prove to you, or even within event 1 will prove to you that this trade isn't going to work out. It's because that confirmation process, right? So the idea is that let's just take a look at the USD CAD, and we can currently see that the market's moving in an uptrend, right? But there's zones here in this uptrend that look kind of cool that we actually might want to take, right? Obviously, this here was setting up for a reversal down to for a push down. We've got maybe some selling here, some selling here, last selling point, all at the same level, and then boom, the market moves down, right? But then the market moves up now, and we've got we've actually got a nice zone right here that's formed. Let's take a look, right? We've got a nice zone that's formed here. Let's just make this a short, and we've even got a kind of like a daily event break area, and I have to go into this daily event break area with you guys a lot deeper because it's actually very, very important and something that I've picked up on recently. You've probably seen it in a few vids, but I haven't actually gone into it, but it's quite important. So here we've got like a daily event area. The daily supply zone here has actually broken the daily event break area, and we would naturally wait for the market to push back up into here and then start looking for the event chain. We'll look for event 1 as the market pushes up into here, and then we'll find an event break on the H1 chart and then our trigger event on the H1 chart as well, right? Now, as we can see, the market didn't pay any attention to this because it continued moving to the upside. And I know some traders out there will probably perceive this as an area where it'd be good to short the market, right? Because it looks like right now that we are in a downtrend, right? We can see that the market's done a little reversal here, reversal structure, and now we're in a downtrend. But what we're really in is clearly an uptrend, and this zone was simply just a profit-taking zone, right? So what happens when you see a profit-taking zone is that say for instance the market's in an uptrend and it's a profit-taking zone, and profit-taking zones always form counter to the current trend, right? So if the market's going up, it will be supply zones. If the market's going down, it will be demand zones, right? So currently as we're moving up here, we can see this zone form, but this is not a zone that we want to take because the market is currently moving to the upside, right? So let's continue here and see if we can spot any more. So We've even got a nice one here potentially, right? So the market's moving up. It's broken down here. We can call this area here a decision point that the market's broken through. Then we've got this area here for our profit potential. And then we're going to take the market short again when it comes up here, right? But as we can clearly see, what actually happened is that this was a perfect area for the banks to begin placing more trades. It's just actually instead of doing each one individually, let me just wrap this whole thing around it. Trying to get a bit too technical here. All right, so let's take a look at what's happened here as well, right? So many of you probably would have perceived this, even I would have naturally probably perceived this, because this is like a perfect setup, right? You know, we've got loads of profit potential down here. Let's take a look at what the profit potential actually is as well. Price range, if we enter right there, let me come in just there, that engulfing, just over 300 pips, right? So that looks perfect for us, right? So as I said, we've got the engulfing candle here. It's broken through a decision point here, right? Created a new low. We can see the profit potential because we've got all black candles here. The market pushes back in. So we're going to look for the event chain now to break the event 2 on the H1. And then we're going to look for the trigger event that actually broke that, right? But as you can see here, what's actually happened is that the banks are doing their trickery again, okay? The market's come down, right? What do? Place a trade. So then that pushes the market up. Then we have retail traders seeing the market move up. They then start placing trades, right? So the market begins to move up again. Then the market moves down. Now, why does the market move down? Because the banks are taking profits off their trades, right? So the market moves down again. And what does that profit taking do? It consumes all of the orders of the people who are buying. So then they place another trade. So the market moves up. Retail traders jump in again. Boom, the market moves up. They think they're swinging, got their big dicks out, like, yep, we're making money. And then boom, the banks begin taking profits off their trades again, right? That consumes all of their buy orders, which gives them the orders that they need, which gives them the money that they need, liquidity that they need in order to get more buy orders placed. Boom, they get their last buy order placed and the market begins to move up. Right? And then here again, got this nice big push up over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, take some profits off, right? And what's that left us with? Our structure, that bearish engulfing candle, right? But immediately that's broken, it's consolidating. Maybe they're placing more trades here again, maybe there also, right? All this consolidation is eating up people who are trying to perceive the direction of the trend right now, right? And it's taking all of their money, giving the big banks and institutions liquidity to then push the market further to the upside, right? And this is something that you just have to pay attention to because it's so easy to get caught out, because sometimes you can be so fixated on thinking that the market is going one way, right? And this is in another one of the books, which is Zero Sum Fun and How the Big Banks and Institutions Operate, where it just basically implies that the trend is a complete red herring. And if we look at supply and demand as a whole, we're not really functioning on how the market's trending. I couldn't really give a shit about the current trend. All I'm looking for is a supply and demand zone, right? And if that is a supply zone where the banks are actually placing trades, then I'm going to look for a short at that area, right? And if it's a demand zone where the banks are placing trades, I'm going to look for a long in that area. And where my profit target is that next area. Say, for instance, I've taken the demand zone. I'm now going to be looking for a supply zone to take profit, couldn't care less about what the trend is saying, right? So in this instance, for all of you guys who follow trends, well, it is basically just a big deception to get as many people behind that trend as possible. So when the banks are ready to reverse the market, they have all of those orders to consume, right? Which fuels that buy or sell order in the market, right? So let's see what happens here now. Anything happening here? So the market then moves up and produces a nice engulfing right here, right? Doesn't really get touched by anything. Let's have a look here. Let's clone this one. We've got another nice engulfing here, right? And this one actually works out, but this is probably more profit taking, just in the larger perception of the trend, right? Because this one kind of works here, then it comes back into the zone again and works here, but then boom, the market starts to move back off again. And if we take and clone this, you get the same story start to happen again. Profit taking zones just getting eaten, right? Let's clone this one more time. Another zone right here. Getting eaten up again. And we've got another zone up here. Getting eaten up again. Reason being that these are all profit taking zones, right? And this is something that you just have to pay attention to, because the trend is extremely deceiving. All right, so now let's take a look at what's happening. The market seems to be taking a slight turn, but yet still we can still perceive that we're in an uptrend, because at the end of the day, we've still got zones here that are still getting taken out, right? Still got zones here that are still getting taken out. Yeah. So it's just something to pay massive attention to. Now, why does this big drop happen? Like, what happens here? Like, what happened here? Number one, we have all black candles coming up here, right? So this is perfect. So let's have a look at what actually, let's take this. Horizontal, let's take the horizontal line and let's take a look at why that happened. That's too far out. Let's take a look at the weekly. Okay, perfect. So that was a weekly zone over here. So let's just draw that in quickly so we can see why that turned there. All right, perfect. Right, we can see why that turned there. But right now, this market is what? If we draw a box around here, yeah, it's gone in there. It's not really doing much. You can just say it's going sideways for now. We'd have to see either, well, again, we've got, and the reason why this was able to break down here is because we've got compression over here as well. This zone here got taken out by this. This was touched once, twice, boom, market was able to fall through here quite easily. No problem at all. And now we have what seems to be another zone up here. But the fact that this zone has come, the fact the market has entered this zone again and again, this probably looks like an area for buying as well, right? Market could potentially push back up and through here on the USD CAD. So it's just something that I wanted to touch on. with you guys, just to make sure that you're paying attention to it, the difference between profit taking zones and the zones where banks are actually placing their trades, right? And if you're interested in the books that I was talking about earlier, again, the link will be in the description description, and that will actually take you over to this website, which is Liam's website, where you can get the books. He is the creator of these books, and you can go and purchase them from this website. You know, they're amazing books. They're absolutely amazing, and I think they are the foundation for every trader. It doesn't matter whether you trade supply and demand, or support and resistance, using Fibonacci, whatever it is that you do. These books are vital for your education, and you won't find that type of education anywhere else out there on the web. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been insightful, maybe clears a few things up in your mind space when it comes to certain zones that you're looking for. I've got a ton of content coming out for you guys over the November period, because I will let you know now that in December I am going to be disappearing. There'll be no videos over the December period. It's just going to be time for me to chill out, get inside my head, prepare for 2020, and get a lot of shit done, really. So I'm going to have a ton of content coming over the November period, and I'm also going to do a video that breaks down the 3-sequence event chain. It's probably going to be like a mini course, to be honest with you, because I'm going to do a video on each event and what you should actually be looking for. So make sure you look out for that one. Anyway, this video will be coming out on Saturday morning, so I hope you have an amazing weekend.